and welcome back to another speed build. In this video, I am renovating the Pancake house in Willow Creek. I wanted to keep some of the original touches of their house, but instead of giving Bob a man cave basement sort of thing, he got a garage or workshop of his own instead. For the exterior of the house, as per usual, I tried to use some reference pictures for inspiration. I wanted this house to look a little bit traditional, yet not as traditional as the original house, if that makes any sense. I struggled a little bit with the exterior and I ended up bulldozing the lot once before I got it right. I struggled with making it look interesting. That was the main problem from the front. I didn't just want it to look like a box with a roof, but have some detail to it that makes it not so boring to look at. I added a front porch as well and later ended up placing some flowers on it along with a little bench. I also added a little balcony in the back of the house as well. This balcony is connected to Eliza's bedroom, which I imagined was intended to be a master bedroom in this house. If you don't already know, in the original house, Eliza and Bob Pancakes don't actually share a bedroom despite being a married couple. They have their own separate bedrooms, and I wanted to keep that detail in this house also. As you can see, I added a fake garage to the front of the house as well. This is going to be Bob's little garage workshop area. Obviously, not a functional garage, but I thought it was a nice touch. I tried to use actual wood swatches in this house as well, as I don't often do that. I've been getting better at it though. I just hate how nothing matches, especially because this house is fully base game. There isn't many options for colors, so when you want to place a particular item down and the wood swatch is too orange or too dark compared to the rest of the wood colors you're using, it's just really annoying. So I find it easier to just use solid whites or solid black colors instead of making a house that has a lot of wood. For the outside wallpaper, I used a lot of sad and boring looking beiges. I imagine that Eliza is the one that got to pick most of the decorations for this house and that she likes things to be very cream and beige and brown and simple and a little boring. So the exterior of the house is half cream or beige siding on top and half kind of like a red brick on the bottom. Oh, and I also ended up changing the fences that you can see at the front and the column swatches to brown to match a little bit better. I ended up landscaping the house in the front with some of these little perfect looking hedges, and then I added some more wild looking landscaping to the side and to the back of the house. I believe in the original Pancake house, Eliza got a greenhouse to herself in the back, or at least in the newer renovation that came in that one update, but I could be wrong in that. However, to capture her love of her gardening hobby in this house, I tried to make the landscaping look very upkept, like she, trims and maintains these little perfect hedges herself. As you can also see, I did try to change the color of the siding. I thought about making it blue instead of that depressing little beige, but I don't know, there's just something about that beige. It called to me, so I ended up putting it back. As for the front, I added some flowers, add some more color, along with some green little bushes and these low-lying plants that I just love to use in landscaping. They're from the base game. I placed some flower boxes under most of the windows to add some variety and to make the build look a little bit less boring. I also think Eliza seems like the kind of person to just have a lot of flowers in her house. I also really enjoyed building the garden. I added some simple landscaping to the back, very similar to the ones in the front. I wanted a variety of different flowers, such as these bigger purple ones and the smaller yellow ones for some contrast in the colors. When I was building this, I tried to channel my inner Eliza Pancakes. I figured she'd have maybe a pool in her back garden, or at least she'd really want to, so I gave her a pool. Not a very big one, but it is there, better than not having a pool. I added some very simple white lounge chairs by the pool as well as a little grill on the little patio area in the garden. On the grassy part of the garden, I added a table and chairs with a little umbrella to protect your Sims from the sun. I placed some planter boxes around the garden as well, and in some of the smaller ones, I placed some flowers onto them. I raised them up with the BB Move Objects sheet and the 9 and 0 keys. Now, for the inside of the house, starting with Bob's little garage or workshop. Now, I wish I could have used the new Renovation workshop kit. However, this is a fully base game house, so I didn't end up using any packs, but this kit would have worked here so well. I added a punching bag and later one other exercise machine into the room, along with a workbench for Bob to craft different items. Now to the side of the door in that room, there's also a few counters which I imagined are used for laundry. You could easily make this into a laundry room of sorts if you wanted to, and just replace some of the counters with a washer and dryer. On top of the counters, I placed a little laundry basket and some decorations and some clothes to make it look like there's clean washing to be put away. I also painted the walls on the garage with the same brick and colour that I used outside, as I thought it was pretty realistic looking to have maybe the brick in and outside of the garage, but then again, I wouldn't really know. I don't really have a garage, so I don't know. Now, moving on to the kitchen, which I think is one of my favourite rooms or spaces in this house, along with, I think, Bob's bedroom itself. I used these more traditional looking counters and I added a small island to fill in the space. I ended up changing the colour of the counters eventually as well to, I believe, a darker wood with a different countertop colour, as I didn't really like the ones I placed originally. To add a pop of colour, I made the bar stools a green colour and I continued that small touch of green into the dining room as well. I added some light glitter onto the kitchen and made it look a little bit more lived in, like someone actually, lives and cooks here. I placed a little fruitcake object onto one of the counters. It's from the base game, it's like a little clear item, because I think Eliza would love fruitcake. If you didn't know, there's like 50-50 chance that your sim will like fruitcake. Some will hate it and will get like an uncomfortable or a bad moodlet, and others will love it. And you never know which one of your sims likes fruitcake. It's just one of those little things. But to me, Eliza Pancakes seems like she would love fruitcake. She just seems like that kind of person, like a fruitcake lover. I placed a small dining table in the kitchen as well, kind of to act as a breakfast nook, and again I continued the green swatch with the chairs. I also added a small side table with some old looking pictures over it, maybe like some family relatives or something, just for the sake of storytelling. For the actual dining room, I went with a fancier dining table then in the kitchen, but I did use similar chairs with that similar green colour. I wanted this room to feel a little bit more formal than the breakfast nook in the kitchen, as this is more of a formal dining room, so I added a little fireplace with a small mirror on top. The storage shelves for the dishes, I'm not sure what the proper word for them would be, but they went on the opposite wall to the fireplace. Obviously, Eliza Pancakes needs some space to store her very fancy dishes. On the remaining wall, I placed some of those base game pair paintings to honor the original house, which had 3 of them placed side by side, I believe in the sitting room, or maybe in the kitchen or dining, I'm not sure. Now for the wallpaper in the sitting room, I went back and forth between a more dull grey colour and a more warmer light brown or cream kind of beigey colour. I ended up sticking with the warmer shade of the wallpaper to give some more warmth to the environment and to the rooms. Now in the sitting room, I placed this white leather sofa and an armchair as well to the side. The swatch on these is like a warmer toned white, which I thought matched the curtains and the overall aesthetic of the house that I was going for. I placed the TV console at a slight angle as it wasn't facing the sofa straight on. I added a lamp and a small end table beside the sofa, which I then placed some clutter on, such as a little box of tissues and some books. To fill up this space a little bit more, I added a bookshelf on one of the walls as well, and I ended up scooting the sofa and the TV and all of that furniture just a little bit more into the center, as the room looked really empty. There was just a big empty space. As a finishing touch, I placed a small rug that looks kind of like bricks from the base game in the dining room, and that is the downstairs done. Now, for the upstairs, I started with the bathroom. Now, I have cut out all of the bathrooms in this house as there is nothing all that interesting about them. However, I made the master bedroom ensuite bathroom a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer. So I left that part in. To this bathroom, I added both a bathtub and a shower that I separated with a little wall, and a counter space with a sink, along with some small clutter items such as a little plant, some towels and candles. Oh, and of course a massive fancy mirror as well. For the master bedroom, I chose this light grey wallpaper at first, which I ended up replacing with a very light pink in the end. I wanted to really channel my inner Eliza Pancakes and use pink in her bedroom, as that is what she had done in the original Pancake house. I also mentioned that this is the master bedroom, but I did make it just for Eliza. Bob and Eliza, as mentioned before, have their own bedrooms, despite being married. And I figured that Eliza would probably have the master bedroom in this situation. Obviously I could be wrong, but that's just how I felt. I also don't really like Eliza as a townie. I think she's like one of my least favorite base game townies like of all time. I don't know. There's just something about her. Maybe it's the flip-flops she wears everywhere she goes, but I don't know. I just don't like her. But I do like her bedroom. So I changed the bed completely in the end for a darker one with a darker pink swatch, as this bed was a bit too light as it didn't really fit in with the dark wooden tones of the rest of the house and the room in general. Now, moving on to Bob's bedroom. I really liked how this room turned out. I made it look very different from Eliza's bedroom, obviously. In the original house, Bob had that same football lamp that you can see I placed on his nightstand, so I gave it back to him. I felt it was only right. I also added what I imagined are video games or movie posters that he has framed up on this wall. In the corner, I placed a treadmill since he does have a lot of workout equipment, and I put some random posters on the wall as well, just to fill up some space. I gave him a desk and a nicer computer than the one in the hallway, and a very simple little rug just to finish the room off. Now, as you can see, I added a third bedroom in this house. Years ago, EA published a version of Eliza and Bob Pancakes with their toddler, I believe Izzy or Iggy Pancakes. Now, this was ages ago, I think around when toddlers first came out, I believe, but it is there, and I imagine that in this version, they also have a toddler. So I gave them a toddler bedroom in this house, as it was only right. Now, in the toddler room, I added a potty because I don't know about you, but the toddler potty in their bedroom, I think it's a lot easier for gameplay to do that. I also put a bookshelf up on the wall, but I ended up changing where I placed it. I imagined that maybe someone would sit and read toddler on the little armchair I placed beside the bed. In this room, I also added a little dresser in the corner with some toddler essentials to make the room look more cluttered. I placed two little shelves in the room as well, where I placed multiple little toddler toys, kind of like they may be on display. Now, we have come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and tell me what videos you'd like to see next. It would really mean the world to me. Thank you. Bye-bye.